Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
The mainstream media has become so increasingly desperate to further their liberal agenda that they will lie and twist just about any story in hopes of disrespecting our president. The coverage of last night's CMAs was no exception. During the awards show, the hosts, who are notorious for cracking a couple of jokes during their opening monologues including some political banter, mentioned President Donald Trump, and the liberal press started foaming at the mouth. While the mainstream media did their best to hype up reports that their hosts were bashing Trump, the fake news outlets got caught yet again in their web of lies. Wednesday night was the 51st Annual Country Music Awards, which country music superstars Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley hosted for the 10th year in a row. The two hosts have made it a tradition to open the show with a monologue that pokes fun at fellow country music stars as well as politically incorrect topics. While this might sound like something you'd hear at any awards show, you could say it is a polar opposite to any others put on by liberal Hollywood, mostly because the country music family pokes fun at both sides, unlike Hollywood, which becomes instantly triggered the second you put Hillary and prison in the same sentence. During the monologue, Underwood and Paisley jumped right into political jabs, keeping it short, sweet, and tasteful while both sides of the political aisle took their fair share of bumps and bruises. Of course, President Donald Trump and politics go hand in hand, so naturally, they threw him into the mix. Unfortunately, the mainstream media saw that as an opportunity to stir some controversy. They immediately reported it as getting political and Trump bashing when it was all in good fun. Unfortunately, reporters weren't the only ones with this misconception, as social media was triggered as well. One Twitter user wrote, "Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley making fun of our POTUS. Really disappointing." While another said, "Country Music CMA Awards night, what set off Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley to make them go off on President Trump? They're starting to sound like late-night TV comedians insulting our POTUS." However, when you actually review what went down, their outrage seems misguided. Now, Brad, I don't know if you've heard about this, but the CMA has given us some guidelines with specific topics to avoid, Carrie Underwood said to co-host Brad Paisley. "So, we can't be doing any silly little songs because this year's show is a politics-free zone." This opened up to the opportunity for Paisley, armed with his guitar, to break out in song. And although many outlets are only focusing on what he said about the president during a parody of Underwood's Before He Cheats, they ignore the fact that he hit at Hillary Clinton first, singing "She's Gone, Gone, Gone," then, "Oh, no," she wrote a memoir. "Hillary's back." Of course, it was Fox and Friends who pointed out that both sides were equally targeted by the country star's comedy routine, while outlets on the left only seemed to care that Trump landed in the crosshairs. As we mentioned, Trump wasn't unscathed in the routine. Right now he's probably in his PJs, watching cable news, reaching for his cell phone, Paisley sang, with Underwood later chiming in, "Right now he's probably asking Siri how in the hell do you spell Pocahontas." Paisley continued, "In the middle of the night from the privacy of a gold-plated White House toilet seat he writes Little Bob Corker, NFL, and Comp-Fee. And it's fun to watch it, that's for sure, until Little Rocket Man starts a nuclear war," before the hosts concluded in a duo, singing, "Maybe next time he'll think before he tweets." If anything, it sounds to me like they are poking fun at all the things that seem to get the left in an uproar. So, we can only wonder, was the comical jab really at Trump or the rhetoric from the whining liberal left? Either way, the jokes were all in good fun, tasteful, and taking aim at both sides, like comedy used to do. Furthermore, they were just that, jokes. This wasn't a rant by a privileged celebrity as they received or gave an award, using their platform to promote their political agenda. What a perfect example of the difference between the ever-so-touchy and outwardly pushy left and the right. Jokes were fired in both directions and lighthearted when compared to the mean-spirited, one-sided tirades during awards held by Hollywood, and there's nothing wrong with being able to laugh out ourselves. Share the story and leave a comment by clicking one of the buttons below. Follow us on Facebook at Mad World News.